design needs to be an actual fan. They basically tried to recreate a commercial from what, 95? Man, like they thought that it was okay, and it's interesting, man. Like, like I said, the times that we are in when it comes to the political climate we have, who signed off on this? Like, you know what I mean? And I can see why they pulled the plug on it. Like they immediately the outcome of, what they're projecting to do, and they still put it out even with the risk because sometimes you just have to figure it out as you go, and that is important too. So just the public even once. But then again, sometimes, we all know brands do things all the time when they have knowledge on serving so much more than just your local neighborhood or just the corner store or you know your local bank or your bakeries. Do the work that needs to be done to the degree that hasn't been done before, Like, but, and I say the Spirit, I mean the Holy Spirit. Don't trip.
Design, designing love, designing in your face. Design, designing love, designing in your face. Don't know what to design today, but there's just one thing I know for sure.
What's up, everyone? I'm Devin here with Designing Labs, and welcome back. Hey, today, man, I want to ask you all an important question. And I'm trying to think about how should I go about it. So, the best way to go about it is just being natural. Do you care about brand stands politically? Do you care if they are neutral or if they take a side? We're gonna break that down today on the podcast. It's just a natural, organic conversation that came up to my mind about everything that's going on today with all the different issues we got going on, y'all. We can't deny that. And today is a great day to be able to, to unpack some of that. But keeping that all related to design, creativity, and how we can make our impact and change some of the things our own way. We ain't saying that we are gonna, do so, but we do want to at least do our part in trying to do so. We can't do no more than that. Because of that, personally, first and foremost, me speaking just on my own personal, merits as far as how I feel about, politics and business, they go hand in hand, but yet I don't know if they should. I don't think they should. So I personally would say it's best to stay apolitical when it comes down to your brand. But I would like to know from you all, because of my own thoughts and that, maybe you guys might be able to open my lights, my perspective on things and enlighten me on some things and open some doors for some new conversations when it comes down to it. But when it comes down to it, just from a moral, ethical standpoint, I feel like you have to be very careful when it comes down to, dealing with politics and things like that. And you know that we all know that there's some shady businesses in there, and nobody wants to get in business with the wrong person. So that's the reason why I also say that it's best to stay neutral because you never know of how your brain is going to be affected because of somebody else's own agendas or thoughts are, and you can only do so much to protect yourself. And why would you put yourself out there by aligning yourself with something that sometimes you don't even know the full magnitude of as far as why they make their stands in the from the beginning, and you put yourself in a position that alienates your target audience or your supporters. So that's the reason why I make a stand on it. Like, man, I strongly suggest you think about it when it comes down to your brand, whether you're starting out, whether you've been established for a while, or you're looking to, make an impact in your own local community. Like, if you're going to do so, I would say if you're going to do so diligently as far as, you know, uh, take the time to really know the brands and the business, know the people who you're dealing with because it is an ugly world out there And I'm not trying to paint no bad picture of saying that people out here doing some bad things. It's just, it really is what it is. Like, there's some scary stuff going on, and you have to be mindful of that. And I don't ever want to get you guys saying, "Oh man,
Man, I got your message loud and clear, bro. What are those you're wearing, though? Come on, man. Can't have you out here looking like that, bro. Seriously, like, what are you wearing? Don't even worry about it. I'm glad you came to the merchandise shop. Don't even answer that question. Hey, by the way, what size do you wear? Okay. Well, hey, in order to be part of this crew, man, like, you gotta be a man of multiple different hats. Not everybody can wear these. Well, I guess you can. I lied. Anybody can wear it. Literally. Especially if you just go onto our website. Our website. That's. Man, I ain't gonna spell it out for you. It's down below.
politics as usual." Like, no, it don't have to be that way. Like, there's no reason for, gatekeeping or all that other stuff. Like, so be honest with you, like when it comes to politics, like I think, if we can be more transparent about it, then we could have a further good discussion on it. But I really just wanted to leave it there and let you guys give you guys thoughts on it because, I got some examples of like, prime examples of, of when not to use it. And, I might even share some of them. Like, for example, like, you know what? I'm gonna give you an example. So, for example, I know a few years ago, but 2017, I think it was, when Pepsi did that ad with Kendall Jenner. Like that ad had a lot of controversy, and I recently watched it again for the first time in years. Just in research and thinking about things that I was talking about for the podcast beforehand, and it stuck in my mind, so I can talk about it very easily as of right now. Like, first and foremost, I'm not gonna share it with you on the podcast because, to be honest with you, it ain't worth it. I don't want to spark up any more, negative feelings that people had no problem addressing or start expressing because actually when I seen it too, I was like, yeah, this is insensitive. Like I have like a pretty good sense of humor, and I try to, view things with an open mind and level-headedness. However, that doesn't mean I'm not open. I'm not human, and not knowing that I did not like what I saw. It definitely was. It reminded me of like some cheesy like music video from like early 2000. What the guy was trying to get the white girl, and it's like, yeah, I got the trophy girl or something. Like, it kind of gave me that kind of vibe or something. Like, it was off-putting to me. Like, and it's nothing against the genders or anything. I don't know any of them people, but like, it just was a typical commercial where some celebrity trying to be the savior, and unfortunately, the savior didn't even put on a performance that made it seem like if it was something that they did that was heroic. It really was simple as passing them a can, and it was like all this for a real issue, because this is, a real subject that they were talking about within the video as far as the protests and stuff like that. And especially when during that time when it was, in the heart of it as far as the issues going on. But you know it's just looking back at it, even though that time's passed now, it still makes me feel like, man, like they thought that it was okay, and who signed off on this? Like, you know what I mean? And I can see why they pulled the plug on it. Like, they immediately gave an apology publicly and took it off the internet. And you still can find it. So if you want to go look for yourself and give your own feedback or do another, recap on it, hey, feel free, and you can even tag us. Let us know. Let us know that you were inspired to think to do a reaction video, and just let us know, because I think it's worth worth taking the view. It's just that I don't want to put it on the podcast listening to it because it's like literally like a music video like alone, and I was like, what am I watching? Even like the music for it kind of gave me a older nostalgic kind of feel, which is nothing wrong with that because it depends on the commercial, but it just wasn't it, man. And I used to be, I don't even drink pop no more. However, I used to be an actual fan of Pepsi as far as I ain't to say it was Pepsi over Coke, but I definitely was more of a Pepsi drinker at one point in time in my life. I can admit to that. So it's kind of like I say all that to say like ain't no even me. It's not a brand loyalty thing. It's like it's just knowing your target audience and knowing the audience at hand and how this can affect them. Like the ad itself, it really was, in my opinion, insensitive and unnecessary. However, though, I can give you also an example of the competitor who did something just as recently as last year when they did that commercial. Coca-Cola did a commercial for the holidays, and they basically tried to recreate a commercial from what 95 using AI, and there's nothing wrong with using AI because even here at Def we use it sparingly and mindfully, depending on what the purpose is. However, though, they recreated a whole ad trying to recapture that feel, and the feeling wasn't there. And as far as people, um, you know, would give them a lot of flack for that, saying it felt dead and soulless, like, and y'all were trying to, you know, capture in on the marketing genius that you guys, had from the past. And I can see why they said that. So that goes to show you those are two examples of two different brands at two different times using, their uh, using their platform to make a stance on a political, social issues, statements and everything, and it did not go in the hands, so, and it didn't go accordingly to how they planned it. And the AI example, when it comes to like Coca-Cola, I think if you ask me, that's not like a social issue as big as controversy as the Pepsi one was. However, though, it just shows you though they still missed the mark though, and if you don't uh, prioritize is your strategy as far as it making sure it's for the customer, the consumer first, or the client first, then then you will get a result like that. You will get a result where there'll be a disconnect. I hate to say it, and that's where groups go in hand. Like I'm surprised that they didn't do a focus group for that to see, if that's even something like that the public even wants. But then again, sometimes we all know brands do things all the time when they have knowledge on um, the outcome of what they're projecting to do, and they still put it out even with the risk because sometimes you just have to figure it out as you go, and that is important too. So just think about it. Like when it comes to building a brand, like yes, you need to have a strategy, a plan, and execute, and there's so much more. But if you spend too much time on a strategy and you don't execute it, then you still fall short. So it's a balance thing, and you really gotta know the 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 goal at hand. Like that's why having an objective and having a clear mission statement or design brief is critical when it comes down to a successful brand or a successful ad or successful anything when it comes down to you know when it comes down to media, when it comes down to marketing, when it comes down to advertising, when it comes down to branding. Like, there's no other way to say it. Those things um, rely on you really getting it right and getting it right the first time. Like, you don't have a chance to always to, spin the block and be like, oh, we messed up on, that. Let's rebrand, because don't get me wrong, rebranding is important, it's powerful. And yes, um, brands often do it, sometimes more often than they need to, or sometimes more often than you realize. But I think it still comes down to, taking the steps and gradually growing, as opposed to trying to do so much. And because what happens is you can do a lot right off the bat and be up here and have no foundation. And you know what happens when you have no foundation? You collapse. So like anything. So yeah, that was a horrible example. I don't know why I was stretching my hand up like that. Like that's gonna express it to you, but I don't know. I just I just think that it's interesting, man. Like, like I said, the times that we are in when it comes to the political uh, um, climate we have, with everything from the president and terrorists and brutality and so much, or racism and so much more, man. I just think that design needs to be expressed in that, because that's how we capture what's going on during the time. So from the time, looking back at things in time, as time goes on, we can either pull from it and capture it in a way that's authentic, as opposed to it pulling from the past and going back and doing research on it. Like, you capturing it as it is, so you can get that feel in real time. Like, there's nothing like that. I think that's what sets us apart from other brands, as far as what we do here at Def. There's a lot of great designers out there who do some amazing work and have the biggest uh, clients or portfolio, and have amazing network with other I don't even say A-list, because I don't even know what this are so-called A-list designers thing, but established, well-known names when it comes to designers. Because yes, there are well-known graphic designers as well, you all. Just like there are well-known painters, uh, but there's still such a small market of them. Like, there's only a handful of them who really get, you know, mentioned and really get attention. And here at Def, we aim to not give just us the attention, or say, come look at us. We are a community. Like, we really are serving so much more than just your local neighborhood, or just the corner store, or you know your local bank, or your bakeries, or whatever else that is doing amazing things. Like, we represent the people at large across the nation. And what I'm saying, we also even internationally have gotten some little exposure. So we what's happening, everyone? I'm Dev Dog Devin, and welcome to Cook This, Designing Labs Cook segment, where colleagues and clients, that's right, colleagues and clients help me complete the creative exercise here at Def by cooking this. Today, I'm joined with Yesenia,
Woo!
Ciara,
That's me.
woo, and Jasmine.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, come on, y'all.
Mhm.
All right. So, um, we're gonna do a few rounds where we're going to be cooking this, and then afterwards, we're gonna have a break where we'll be able to just have a little laugh, about what we just saw. So let's jump right on into it. I'm going to share the screen with you all, and we're going to go ahead and cook. So
The
there is
first time
our
was
alien within 30
I missed it.
seconds. Huh? This
That's yeah, they got to move a lot faster. You're trying to do 30 seconds.
well, our artists here, man, they guess working on their own time, but
Clearly.
man, look at that. If that is not Blink Man in the feet and like in the flesh.
I was gonna laugh, but that didn't work.
Is that Batman's mask?
No,
that seems accurate.
it's like a castle, like a little medieval castle. I think.
Yeah. That's a little house on the prairie, right?
Yeah.
Or
Or is that Noah's Ark? Like, I don't know. There's so many different shapes in one.
I still just want to know, like, why he has on gloves.
ooh,
Hey man, thank you, man, for helping me cook this, bro. Like, I don't think if I could do that by myself, bro, because you were saying more than I could, and I was lost for
I
uh
mean, I was just trying to make sure I worked it out, man. If I could see the vision coming, right? I wanted to try to jump in the mind of the artist and figure out what was going on there. What were they trying to show me? I
true.
tell you one thing, don't let them design the next fan, though. That was not safe.
Hey man, chop chop, like man, that thing was down all the
Oh, it
way.
was super low. Like, and then like you got to think this spinning. The thing's gonna be all over the
Exactly.
place.
Exactly,
You can't
man.
have that kind of length on a ceiling fan.
It was hilarious. But hey, thank you to our artists, man, for being willing to draw on short notice with no reference, by the way. So this is
Yeah, oh,
all
clearly,
so this is all for fun. But hey,
all mental.
yeah, but hey, they were up for the challenge, man, and showing how deft they can be, and we appreciate them, and we appreciate you all for tuning in to another episode of the Cook This segment here on Designer Labs. Now back to the podcast. But don't take that lightly. Like, we really intentionally are here to serve the people. Like, we can't do nothing without you all, and because of that, we humbly say thank you for the time, the consideration, the feedback, all that good stuff. Because we're working on building our brand here as well. Like, that's what this podcast is for too, so we can get more feedback from you all in real time. Like I said, we make this place very open to the public so that people can come to us and talk. And it doesn't have to always be about design. You can talk about other stuff because we're human beings. However, though, design is what we're designed to do. Like, it's our calling. Like, so yes, everything reverts back to creativity and things like that. But at the end of the day, man, like, we're here to touch the people. We're here to, you know, you know, shake hands and kiss babies and all that good stuff, and just do the work that needs to be done to the degree that hasn't been done before. We're trying to shake up some things, and I think that leads me to another great example of, uh, when you do make a political statement or stands on something, you know, and it aligns with your brand. It can also be a benefit too, though. Like, prime example, like when it comes to partnership and collaborating and working, with other brands. Uh, Jeff is proud to say that we were honored to work with people like Michael at the Charles and Etta Deadly Foundation. Like, that's a prime example of, like, they're a non-profit organization doing not only the Lord's work, because we're not trying to make this all about religion, because trust me, religion, politics, those are very touchy subjects, and we try to stay neutral when it comes to that here. However, at the same time, we can't deny the spirit, man. We cannot hold the spirit back, man. The spirit is touching us and saying us, letting that, man. Like, And I say the Spirit, I mean the Holy Spirit. So don't get it trip. Don't trip. Like, uh, the Holy Spirit is just saying that, man. Like, all these things come to hand. Like I said, it's a good example of when you can make a political statement. Because I feel like what they're doing over there at Charles and Elder Foundation, as far as education and for not just the youth, no, from the cradle to the grave, like literally, that is some powerful and so inspiring and so touching because of the fact that often, there's people who are excluded and they don't exclude it. And we need to have more organizations who are not only actively doing things like that, but also not afraid to also take a chance and a risk of putting themselves out there in unconventional ways that they normally, don't get a chance to see him. Like he came on the podcast and told you firsthand, the things he did and shared you with you all some links and we really got a chance to really, just see how it really is when it comes to, business to business, when it comes to, behind the scenes and how it can be. Like it doesn't have to be what you got from me and it's not a power thing and all that kind of stuff. It's really about people coming together and building and and putting things out there together that impact and change and move the needle. You know what I mean? And like not just getting more views on yourself. I'm talking about like really making an impact. Whereas life changing things. And I'm not saying that every brand is gonna have that experience because every brand is different and every brand is on a different journey and is gonna have different challenges along that journey. But man, like I'm at all just saying the progression of that brand alone, as far as seeing their elevation from where they started and where they're going and where they are as of right now. Like, hey man, like, and to see that Deft had some connection to it. Hey man, like taking us outside of that, just seeing that, like I said, first and foremost humbling, and then us to be included with that, as far as putting the word out there for more people to know about it. Hey man, that is what it really comes down to. It's a humbling experience, and not only humbling, it's a genuine, gratifying, like feels good, man. It feels real good to know, we can have such open relationships when it comes down to, a good, healthy partnership and relationship with another brand that's, looking to elevate and grow organically. Like, there's all kinds of risk when it comes to branding. Man, there's so many risks, y'all. It goes on and on as far as all the risks you can take. You can build a brand and have it be a multi-millionaire brand overnight and lose it in less than like minutes. You know what I mean? Like, the more wrong mistake, say the wrong thing, or be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And we just want to say, man, we're thankful and grateful of where the places we are and where we're going. Because with that said, man, we want to go ahead and close out this episode of the podcast. Because, man, I felt like we was rambling on a little bit about how important it is to know where you stand and why you stand where you are. And we ain't here to try to manipulate nobody to make a stand or saying you gotta support us or support this or this is my political views and that. We ain't doing none of that over here. We just coming to you raw, telling you how it really is, how we feel, And why we feel that way? Um, because if we don't tell you, we would hate for you to get it from someone else. And you know how that goes. When somebody else speaks for you, hate to say it, when you have the control over that, what they're gonna say. And not that we're saying these things to have control over what people say about us. No, we could care a fuck. Like, but at the end of the day, though, we do care that we are putting out nothing but positive creativity that actually solves a problem. I don't want to come off saying cliche, but I didn't have a better way of saying it. Like, I was thinking, well, of all the things that you try to learn over the time of being an artist or a designer, and from school and things like that. And it just really hit me right there, y'all. Like, in order to be the best artist you can be, you really do have to unlearn some things to learn new things. And with that being said, I want to inspire you all to continue to keep being great, continue to be creative, continue to support Def by hitting that like button, subscribing if you're not already subscribed, and sharing, y'all, and engaging. Um, you know, just saying hi or telling us what you think about the episodes makes a world of difference because of the fact that from one conversation leads to another. And also too, it shows how you are Def. Like that's what it's all about here at Def. It's not about me. It's not about the people who I work with. It's not about the numbers that we aim as far as our goals, because we want to get monetized, and we will get monetized with your help. So, because of that, I want to go ahead and say, hit that, hit us up on our Patreon, y'all. We got very affordable tiers when it comes down to our content. We have some exclusive content that you're not gonna see here on YouTube. Like I said, so you gotta head on over there. You're gonna see music, everything from other interviews with other people who you might not ever get a chance to see them. And it's all in the name of creativity and staying deaf. Like, really. So, like I said, go to our Patreon at Devin's Deaf and sign up and become a member. You know what I'm saying? Let us know how deaf you are. Until next time, y'all, stay deaf, stay creative, stay engaged. I'm Dev Dog Devin with another episode of Designing Labs. Until next time, peace.
Design, design.